All right. In this video, we're going to be talking about audiences, and we're going to build your very first saved audience. So you can advertise to people that actually care about your product and not just the entire world on Facebook. As usual, we're starting at this login screen in the business manager. And I'm going to hit this demo account guy right here. Boom. And he's going to take me over to the actual ad account. Now, there are a lot of different places to create audiences in the ads manager. If you're boosting posts, you can create an audience there. If you're managing ad sets, you can create audiences in the ad set. But as a best practice here at Paracore, we don't create audiences in those areas. We actually use the audience manager. Now, you would head up here to the ads manager and then do audiences. And this is the audience manager. And the reason that we create audiences in this area is so that we can reuse those audiences later. We can use one audience in multiple ad sets, and we can basically manage and control all of our audience usage and control within just this one central interface. If you are running audiences within an ad set, you can't like take that same audience and then move it to another ad set and then test them against each other. It just like doesn't work that well. And just as kind of a general best practice, this is just a really, this is just a much better way to make sure that you are keeping everything centralized, see what audiences you've already created, not reinvent the wheel every time, and use the audiences here. So in order to create your first audience, and hit this blue button that says create audience, and we're going to start with a saved audience. Custom audiences like pull off of engagement, lookalike audiences are creating audiences that look like some other form of traffic that you already have, like website traffic or conversions. And then saved audience is where you really just build a profile of your target market and your best customer. So this audience builder is essentially allowing you to show your ads to your potential buyers. And not everyone is your potential buyer, right? So if you're selling, we're going to do like a mom audience. If you're selling some sort of stroller gadget to moms, you want to target people, probably women that are moms that maybe live in a certain area, or if you have a retail store that's in a certain area, you don't want to just show it to everybody. And so this saved audience, this audience builder allows you to do just that. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to call it stroller. Well, the audience name is going to be Stay at Home Moms. There's probably hyphens in there. I don't know, maybe not, but I feel like there should be. And then here, when I hit custom audiences, this is going to allow me to pull in a lookalike audience if I want to. You can pull in lead forms. So if I do custom audience here, it'll show these guys like a customer list if I want to use a customer list, or a lookalike audience. Now I'm not going to put anything in the custom audiences. That's kind of an intermediate type of audience targeting. What we're doing is we're just going to say, I want to build this audience from scratch. So on the right-hand side here, you can see the potential reach is 220 million people. That's a lot of people, and that's not your audience, because this is just defaulted out to the United States between 18 and 65. So with that being your default audience targeting, you don't want to run your ads to 220 million people unless you're like Coca-Cola, and even then you probably don't want to, right? Or Nike or whatever. So we're going to skip this custom audience section, and we're going to go down to locations, and you have a few different options here. So you have everyone in the location, which means everybody who's currently here, or their most recent location was here, or they're traveling here. Just like if you're physically in a location, then that's everyone in this location. The next option is everyone who lives here. So that's where their home is in your geographic area. So if you're targeting Phoenix and you only want people living in Phoenix because you have a retail store that, or you just have something that, like a club where someone like needs to live in the city, then you'd want to choose this option. If you have an entertainment venue that's good for people coming in and visiting, like an ATV tour where probably a lot of your people are coming in from out of state, then you might want to do traveling to this location. And traveling to is people whose most recent location is within the selected area. So like their GPS on their phone is saying, I'm in this location, but their home is more than 125 miles away. So their home is set to their profile. It says, for me, I'm from the Phoenix area. However, when I travel to Seattle, that's more than 125 miles away, so I could be targeted as someone visiting the location, even though my home is Phoenix. And then when I'm home in Phoenix, someone targeting people who live in Phoenix because they want to introduce me to a club, that's they would choose this one. And then recently in the location, people whose most recent location is within the selected area. So that means they were recently there. So they could maybe not be there anymore, but they were most recently there. The most recent location is within the selected location, selected area, excuse me. So because of our stay-at-home moms, we're going to be people who live in this location. Bam. Which is what it already was. And the United States is just too big. So I want to go to the Phoenix area. And when I do that, it gives me a radius. So it defaults to 25 miles. For Phoenix, that actually works out okay. But let's say that I wanted to I wanted to really narrow it in more. And so I'm going to say, let's go to 10 miles, right? And 10 miles here, you can see is the smallest radius, right? I can also select current city only. So I'm just saying Phoenix area, that actually gets rid of the radius. Or I could say cities within a radius and then do this guy. But your range here is 10 miles to 50 miles, okay? I can do a zip code. So this is where our office is, right? In Phoenix, it's kind of weird. I don't know why it says that, but this must be like other countries or something. But here's our zip code. So this is where our office is. So I can do zip codes. So I can target an exact zip code. I think I can target a region or a county. Jeez, if I could type here. There we go. Maricopa. Oh, that's a city. Sorry, Maricopa. So current city, blah, blah, blah. So essentially what you're saying is, all right, I want people that are only in 85044 or in the city of Maricopa. Let me see if I can do a county. I should probably already know this, but yeah, of course. Maricopa County, right? A lot of different options. So what I'm going to say is I'm just going to do Maricopa County. So what you'll see is that it's 3.2 million people. Maricopa County is very big, and we have ages 18 to 65. Now I'm looking for stay-at-home moms, so that's not getting me too far, right? So I'm going to change this up. I'm going to say, I'm going to go 20 years old, and then down to, let's say, we're going to go to 40. That's going to be our range. Now this is 1.6 million people. That was a larger number before, so you're going to see this keep changing. So we have living in the United States, Maricopa County, age 20 to 40, 1.6 million people. And this says this is an estimate of the size of the audience that's eligible to see your ad based on the targeting criteria and how many people were shown ads in the last 30 days. It's not an estimate of how people will actually see your ad. It's just an estimate of the number of people that could see your ad, right? And so this estimate is affected by placements. So this is saying that they're going to see it. They're assuming the news feed, the Instagram feed, Messenger inbox, native banner, interstitial ads. So this 1.6 million people means that your placements would have to, in order for your audience to be that size, placements would have to include all of those placements that I just rattled off. All right, we're doing moms, so we're just doing stay-at-home moms. We're gonna do women. We're gonna do English, all, and then we're gonna do Spanish, and we're gonna do Spanish right here. All right, so like the languages are English and Spanish. Now this is the area where you start spending the bulk of your time, and this is the detailed targeting. So we have this like little search bar here. So if you just start searching, you can do like parent, and it starts to drill down some parental options. And on the right hand side, you can see that this says interests. So that's basically a result of someone's actions on Facebook. They're clicking on ads. They're performing certain behaviors, they're liking pages, they're interacting with pages, comments, or shares or whatever. So, like politically, if someone shares a political ad from a conservative page and you're engaging with that ad or that post or whatever, they're gonna tag you as politically conservative because you're engaging with the post. Even if you're liberal and you're engaging with the post, you'll probably be tagged as conservative. But that's just an option. So if you're interacting with parental stuff or like all those food videos, like those are going to tag you with certain interests. You then have job titles. People put in their own job titles. So if you are, if you're a stay-at-home mom or a parent, then you might just put house parent. You may not have you may not even have like really a job title in your profile, but from the business side, you might have CEO, founder, you might have teacher, you might have anything in the job titles. So job titles are a little bit more limited now than they used to be, but you can also target by job titles. And then you have demographics. So demographics are actual characteristics of an individual that Facebook pretty much has locked down, right? So demographics are where you live, your gender, your relationship status, your parental status. If you're engaged, if you have an anniversary coming up, those are kind of demographic characteristics. So these things came up through a search. And when I typed in parent, now we have these different age ranges. So with teenagers, preteens, early school teens. So I'm going to choose preschoolers, and then I'm going to do new parent, which was down here. So this is 0 to 12 months. I'm missing 1 to 2, I think is an option. Yep, toddlers. Okay, so basically now what we're saying is anyone from 0 to 5 years, which is kind of like stroller age, we want those people. And now the audience has changed dramatically. Now it's 35,000 people. Before it was 1.6 million, now it's 35,000. Huge, huge, huge difference. We reduced it to women and now parents, and this is so this is who match at least one of the following. Just one of the following here is what we're selecting. So you can fall in any one of these categories and a person will fall into it. Now that we have 3 selections, we might hit this suggestions guy, and it brings up more parenting options, right? So we have these other ages, which are obvious options. But if I hit parenting, like if I hover over this and it's 150 million people, and I just hit parenting, it's going to increase it from 35,000 to 330,000. And it's too big of a jump. And parenting is too broad of a category. So it's like, you don't even have to have kids and you can be interested in parenting, or you may have kids that are way older, or it's just like too broad of a category. So when you're doing your audience targeting, you're not necessarily trying to get the biggest audience possible. You're trying to get the most accurate audience possible. And that might mean it's a fairly small audience. So I don't really like this parenting interest, and interests tend to be a little bit fuzzy anyway. So I'm going to kill this guy, and I'm going to go back to suggestions. And like we have toddler, we have all parents, married. So I don't know if that would be of interest. You have kindergarten, early childhood education, but all of these interests are sort of, they're sort of fuzzy types of matching. So anytime you're selecting these, just know that the matching is not going to be that strong, because what does birth even mean? Like people who have expressed an interest and are like pages related to birth, like pages related to baby shop, like pages related to Huggies. It's just not a great. It's not a great targeting option. And I think they're showing me roughly 25 here. So that's the suggestions. Those suggestions appeared because I chose these 3 guys, right? Now, if I want to browse, this is, in my opinion, a little bit better way to get started. You start looking at demographics, and then you say, okay, well, financially, I want the income to be the top 10% of zip codes. So this is a new thing. They're matching it up with AdWords because they removed income targeting earlier in 2018 with the Cambridge Analytica deal. So now we're saying household income top 10% of zip codes in the US. So people who live in the top 10% of US zip codes by average household income based on publicly available information. So that's good to know. And you can choose these different options. So we want to say, we want the top 5%, top 10%. Yep, I just chose that one. We're going to do just like the top 25%, right? And I want to continue. I want to do that again. Income. And then, for example, this is a category header, and then financial. So when you search in income, you're going to see these guys. All right, now I'm going to close that. We have a bunch of different options here. So parents, all parents, you have the different options that we just saw. So you saw these options come up when you were searching, but now you can see all the options. Relationship status. Do you want them to be complicated, domestic partnership, engaged in a relationship? Those might be of value. Work. Employers, you can search for these. So let's say Apple, right? So Apple as an employer. Paracore? Nope, we're too small. But you can search for employers, you can search by industry, right? And then you can do job titles. This is another one, so let's do owner. That doesn't even work. CEO, founder. There we go, founder, 1,700,000 people. So job titles is not as powerful as it used to be, but another option. All right, so you have demographics, which is what people are about. You also have behaviors, which is what people do. So let's just say we're going to do not consumer classification, digital activities. So if people are gamers, if they're using Facebook payments, these are like things people are doing. One really awesome one is Facebook page admins. If you're looking for senior level marketers or business owners, Facebook page admins is a really good option because typically the business owner is an admin on the page, and that's a really solid targeting method. Highly recommend that. Small business owners, if you're doing small business, you can target by email domain. That's pretty cool. So these are all kind of characteristics of someone's behavior online. And like politics is here. I was talking about this. Most likely to be conservative, liberal, or moderate. They have weird ones like soccer. Like I don't know why soccer is like such a. I guess it's for the international. Travel. This is a good one as well. Commuters, frequent travelers, return from travel 1 week ago, return from travel 2 weeks ago, frequent international. So when it knows your geographic location because of the GPS in the phone, they can tell if you're traveling internationally a lot, if you're just coming home, all these different things. All right, and then the last area is interests. And interests are the ones that are super fuzzy and not exactly my favorite, but they tend to get people most excited and are, they're kind of like a necessary evil. You need to layer them on top of your targeting because they help narrow the audience, but on their own, they're not incredibly powerful. So it's nice to have like a foundation of demographics and behaviors, and then layer interests on top and say, this is our kind of foundation demographic. And these are the activities that they take. So family and relationships, so dating, fatherhood, friend, like these are just so generic. Motherhood, parenting, they're just very, very generic. Fitness and wellness, meditation, right? 500 million people, 500 million, 200 million, 104 million, yoga, 283 million. It's just too broad. So if you want moms, so when you do this, check this out. So this just went to 390,000 because I did yoga. So when I pull this off, the amount is 140,000. That's because it's saying you are you're a parent or you're in this level of income. So this is not an and. So when I chose these, I did not choose them as an and. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these out because we want moms, okay, 35,000. And then let's say we want moms that like yoga, right? So we're going to narrow the audience and then we're going to do yoga. So now we have moms, because they're female, moms that like yoga, and now it's 17,000. So it just got a lot smaller. It went from 35,000 to 17,000. When we said we want moms who like yoga, it cut it in half. So fun fact, 50% of moms have an interest in yoga that have kids between 0 and 5. So this is the way that you would target moms that like yoga if your product was like yoga related, for example. And if you did yoga here, it blows it up. Now what you're saying is, I want moms or people that like yoga, and now it's 320,000. It totally blows up your audience. Don't do that. You want a foundation, and then you want to layer interests on top. And then if you want to keep narrowing, then you can say, income. This is going to narrow it a lot, but let's see what happens. 10%. So now you're looking for the moms with expendable income that like yoga. And now you're down to 6,400 people. So 6,400 people in Maricopa County are identified as female moms with 0 to 5 years old. They like yoga and they're living in these wealthy zip codes. So that starts to get pretty narrow. That's not an expensive advertising campaign because you can hit that 6,400 people like easily within a couple days or a week, depending on how much money you're spending. So you want to layer. And this is an important thing. This is an important component. And must also match. And must also match this and this and this. And then you can also exclude. So you can say, you know what? But I don't want people that like, I don't know. All that comes to mind are like politically sensitive ideas. Let's say that don't like hiking, which is weird, but whatever. So as an interest, right? not as a school and not as an employer. But like, I don't like hiking trails. I don't want moms that like hiking trails. So we're excluding that number, and then it's down to 2,400. So it took out 4,000 people. So that's the main building area for detailed targeting. And then you can also do some other, you can also target people based on what page they like, friends of people who like your page, or exclude people who like your page. So if you have a page and you're running ads and you already have a target audience, you may want to exclude the people that already like your page, and then choose your page here and you're excluding them, right? So that allows you to say, all right, I'm gonna run a new incentive or a discount, and I don't want my page fans to see it, so I'm gonna exclude my page fans. Or I already have that audience on lock, like I'm running other ads to just my page fans, so I'm gonna exclude them. Or if you're saying, I just want to target my people who like my page that maybe also match these things, there's gonna be like 0. Oh no, it still shows 2,400. Then you can just say, hey, I just want people who like, oh, I didn't choose a page. I just want people who like my page, and I'm going to narrow that down further. So you have people who like your page, friends of people who like your page, exclude people who like your page, app engagements, and then events. So if people are responding to your events, you can choose these here. And then advanced combinations allows you to select multiple options here. Friends of people who like your page is really interesting because you could just do a basic audience of anyone that likes a certain page. So for Paracore, I could just say, I want to run ads to anybody that's friends of someone that already likes Paracore. And then they're going to see on the ad that their friend likes Paracore. And there's a good chance they might have heard of us anyway if they're friends and maybe they're in the digital marketing industry. Or I could say friends of people who like our page, and then I could layer it down to digital marketing and add an interest on there, which is very broad, but it's already narrowed because I have people who like my page. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create that audience. Bam, bam. Now I have stay-at-home moms, saved audience, size 2,400. It's ready for me to use. I'm going to edit this real quick. And then when I click on it, I can see all the characteristics. So I have the language, excluding hiking trails, people who match this, must also match yoga, must also match this. And then audience history, it shows a history of changes here. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to remove that hiking deal. It's okay if they like hiking. I'm going to update it. Done. And now it's back up to 6,400 like we had before. So this is a very narrow audience, but it's a high net worth. It's people that like yoga, and then moms of a certain age. All right, so that's your first audience. So that's creating the audience. We haven't actually done anything with it yet. That's going to be the next video, or another video. I'm not sure what the next video is. But do create your audiences in this section. The most basic ways to create saved audiences. Give that a shot. Obviously, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.